How we, the individuals, understand what the time is. And it was so fantastic that most of our brothers were aware what time is. And we were able to define the time as the scholars have already defined it, which was very important. And it was very encouraging that some of these things, if we know, and we try to do things about it, and we try to work around these things, it will help us. I tried to compress everything into slides, and I want you guys to know so that you just rush through and get to the point where we reached last week, and we continue on that. And we realized that when we were going through the concept of time, we realized that the Bible did not specifically talk about that God created time as in minutes, hours, or seconds, or whatever. But it was so interesting that how people define time and how God makes things, or how God created us, created the world. Everything was revolving around time. And we realized that in Genesis chapter number 1, verse 14 to 18, we realized that God created, after creating the heaven and the earth, God decided to bring time dimension into our living. So he came out with the day, which was to be governed by the sun, and the night, which was to be governed by the moon. And we realized that all in all, we had 24 hours within the day. So in conclusion, we realized that God saw that everything that he has created, including the time, was good and perfect. So if God says something is good, indeed it was actually good for us. So we are also experiencing the same time, or we are experiencing the same thing in our life. And we came out that God is timeless. Meaning, God cannot be defined by time. His essence and everything has nothing to do with time. Because before the world even started, he was there. So he's living in eternity. And when we talk about eternity, that is life without end. Or life, you can't even see the beginning and the end. That is how God created himself. But we that he created on this earth, God created us to live within time. If there is no time, it will be very difficult for us to calculate or how to enjoy the life that God has given us, and how to even make meanings to what we see around us in life. And we realize that God did these things for a purpose, so that it will help us to live life in doses or in stages, so that we will understand where we are coming from, or where we started and where we are moving. So time, we realize that time is of very important to man. Then we came to the definition of time, which we talked about the classical aspect of it, how the classical theories define time, and all the definitions that were given were in conformity with whatever we produced. When we were asked, what do we define time? It's the same thing that we define. The classical definition was saying that time is a measure of the duration between events, allowing us to understand the sequence and the progress of events. Then the scientific definition also tells us that time is a measure, a measurable quantity that can be quantified and studied using various methods such as clock, time, calendar, dates, astronomical observations. So when we ask ourselves how we define time, all these aspects were able to reflect in our definition, and it was very so lovely that we were able to define time in that direction. So it's events and the states that we create, the way we do things, and the passage of those events help us to define time, as the scholars have also defined time. Then we talk about time and seasons for everything. God, who created this earth and created us human beings to come and live on earth, God gave everything to us according to time. Everything that God does in our life, He does it according to time. And when we read Ecclesiastes chapter number 3, verse 1 to 8, it said everything there is a time and season for every matter under the heavens. And time, there's a time to born, time to die, to breathe, blah, 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 blah. All those things are just telling us that God gave us time, and He wants us to live within that time. And the passage that we read in Ecclesiastes chapter number 3, verse 1 to 8, this passage reflects on the cycles of life and the importance of living in harmony with the rhythms of time. So if the scriptures are telling us that there is time to born, there is time to die, there is time to cultivate or plant, there is time to harvest. That means every aspect of our life has been planned with time. So if there is time for me to go and cultivate, and I don't cultivate at that time, and I cultivate at the other time, meaning there is a likelihood that the results that I'm expecting to get, I will not get it. So there is time for everything. So we make a lot of emphasis that I don't think you give your 2 years old $1,000 and take this money and spend. Everybody or any person that will get to know this, you say, is this something wrong or is something wrong somewhere? It's because of time. Now you are grown, 18 going, 25 thereabouts. If somebody gives you $1,000 it's equivalent to almost 15,000 Ghana cedis. We may think it's reasonable because at that level, we are expecting that we will be able to manage that money. With the passage of time, when we started as a toddler or a baby taking a breast milk, you have moved from breast milk, you are taking solid food. Now you are going, bones and everything, you chew like anything. We expect you to do something which is more, or that will tell us that you are more mature. And maturity comes as a result of time, as a passage of time and events. So if you don't expect a small child, 2 years, to be able to maybe cultivate things, shower them for them to go another place, then it means that there is time for everything. We gave an example. If there's, when you grow, you become mature, you don't behave like a child again. So at your youthful age, assuming you have run through all the life processes, now we talk about that the white man has programmed life in such a way that in the child's development, at every stage, there is something the child is expected to do. So you go to school, you finish your school, by age 21, 22, 23, you finish your tertiary. The society is expecting that you enroll yourself into a job or a work. When you are able to get work, the society expects you to establish a family. So assuming when you get work, all those things society expects that at that level you have, and you are not getting married, then or you are not establishing a family, You see pressure coming from your own immediate family or your cohorts. Those groups you are within, whether you are in the church or whatever, they start asking you, why are you not married? Why are you not doing this? You can remember that maybe if you are 25, 20 years back, or maybe 22 years back, that means when you are 2 years and other things, nobody has ever even told you that go and marry. It tells you that the passage of days, time is very, very important. So everything that we do should go with time. That is why I quite remember I said something about if you think or if you are expected to start your education at age 6 and you didn't, maybe at age 10, you start your education at the basic level, basic 1. Should I say P1? At 10 years you are the P1. Look at the way you struggle with things. And assuming maybe you are 40 years and you are at SS2, you call you Papa Mama, meanwhile you are not Papa Mama. You see, and you see that learning with those people at that level, those who were able to catch up with education at the right age, going with them, it becomes so difficult because they can be able to grab more than you. Because life has been calculated in the sense that at every stage in life, your ability to learn or your ability to absorb, your ability to understand certain things varies. So if your age pass and you are coming to learn those new things or those things that you are supposed to learn, it becomes a big challenge for you. So we said that it's like you are going to sprint with Usain Bolt, and you know this man can run like anything, and at the start he's about 4 seconds before you. It will be very difficult for you to catch up. So if you want to actually catch up, that means you need to double your effort. If not, I will say you have to quadruple your effort. Meaning you need to take more energy and more seriousness before you will be able to catch up. And it's not easy. So at this age or at this stage in life, we try to let you understand that at this age, you are expected to learn certain things. Don't postpone those things to the future, or don't leave those things, because if you leave it and you want to come back from it, in fact, it will stress you a lot and it will become a big challenge for you. I hope we are getting it. Good. That is what we talked about. Then we also move about some common themes across the definition that we were talking about that time. We realized that the two classical definitions and the scientific one gave us the same thing or gave us certain characteristics that is associated with every time. Time is a dimension that allows us to understand changes and progress. Without time, you won't be able to find the difference between you and your brother, or you and your sister, you and your mother. It's time. That is why they are mature or they are older than you. It's time that helps you to define these things. Time is the measure of duration and sequence, as we have already told you. If you are on age 1, time is on sequence or event pass. We don't expect you to be still at age 1. There should be a change. Time is subjective experience that shapes our perception of the world. As we age, we gain experience. Currently, as we are, I think at 5 years boy and whatever 5 years boy will exhibit, you have much experience than the 5 years boy because you have had that stage. So all the tricks that the 5 years boy will do, you already know it. So it will be a surprise thing for you. Time is the fundamental aspect of the universe and our experience within it, which is a fact. I think we talk about the universe and the time is the foundation of it. In fact, God is so wonderful that the day and night that He created to be a day for us, which is the 24 hours. Scientifically, it works. That is how the universe works. We realize that this earth turns itself, or it circulates or turn around and come back to its position within 24 hours. And it is exactly that we get a full day. So if you are facing the sun, which is the day, and we revolve, the moment the earth turns, and where we are sitting as Ghana or Agboku, turn it back to the sun, we experience what? Darkness. That is where we then, if the moon has come up, we will experience the moon as the moonlight, which we will tell it as what? A night. When we come back again and face the sun, we see that we have come into the day. It's a very fantastic thing. And this thing happens for us to get the 24 hours. And this same earth, as it turns around, it turns moving on its orbit. And it goes from the sun. The time it goes from the sun and come back to its original position, we have experienced a year. A full year. So it will be 365 on quarter days or 366 based on the leap year. So we see that time itself, God actually created it. So if the scientific are saying that they use the astronomical things to even calculate a time, then calendar and other things is actually true because nature has already made it. Then we talked about God being timeless. It's true. When we read Ecclesiastes chapter number 3, verse 10 going, I think the other day we read it and realized that God actually is timeless. Because before the world begins, God was there. And it's so fantastic that this verse is fully loaded. So we just wanted the surface alone because it is very, very loaded. Ecclesiastes chapter number 3, verse 10 to 12. I have seen the God-given task within the Son of Man to be occupied. He has made everything beautiful in his time, and he has put eternity in their hearts, except that no one can find out the work of God that the work of God does from the beginning to the end. So we ourselves, because we have come on this earth, God has given us time. But God himself is living in eternity. So what it means that if we die, that is, if we leave this earth as we normally see, we know the scriptures have already told us that we live in eternity. Eternity with what? The spirit and the soul that God has given to us is that is God is going to judge us with. And that is where we live forever. Whether you are going into condemnation or you are going to heaven, it's eternity. It's forever. So if it's punishment forever. If it's good forever. That is how the scriptures tell us. Then there are Psalms number 90, verse number 2. That day we read it and we realized that before the mountains and everything was brought forth, God was in existence. So God himself is timeless. Nobody can complete that. God is maybe 20,000 years or whatever. No, he doesn't need to be time. But because he created this earth for us to come in and has given us the opportunity to live in the period, everything of our life has been programmed with time. Then we came to time as a common gift of God. Time is the only common gift. God gave it to everybody. Give it to everybody. Then that way we explain that whether you are rich or poor, we all have 24 hours. Whether you are tall or short, whether you are white or black, whether you are fair or dark, whichever way you find yourself, whether you are Omologo or you are Chingelele, whatever, we all have 24 hours. Whether you are healthy or you are sick, so far as we live on this earth, we all have 24 hours to live. So that is the most important thing. And God is so wonderful that He doesn't want you to complain that, oh, God, you gave this one 10 hours and you gave me 1. That is why my situation is like this or that. No. He has given us the same time to work with Him. So there's no cheating there. Nothing. So that is very important. That is why time is very important. So the way you use your time, the way I use my time, determines what I will get out of it. Then we came to the common power of time. Time has power, and realize that time is the power. The power that time gives to me is what? What you are and what you become depends on how you use your time. That is the power of time. What you are, what you want to become, depends on what? How you use your time. So time is a function of your success or a function of your life. It's very important. You cannot do well in life without taking cognizance with time. Time cannot be stopped, but man can control how it will be used. It's the power of time. Nobody on this earth can stop time. I repeat, nobody on this earth can stop time. So, Emmanuel also will be going to time the people can be. What kind of thing? You know, we are any access to time. No. We are to the NSI, our translation. Take overcome, everything we need to get us again. The time we now have, only God can stop our time. Nobody can stop our time. Time is life, and life is defined by time. Thank you. Time is life, and life is defined by time. Whatever you do, it's time that we use to measure these things. So if you are at 85 and nobody is expecting you to get married, or nobody is expecting you to maybe feed a family, it's because of time. But you get to a certain point in time where you will be expected to do those things. So it's time that has made room for that. If not, the moment you are born, you need to be for the development of faith. I realize that time tells us that at that particular point, you are not mature enough to consume these things. What is the purpose of time? The purpose of time is to measure the existence of life. It's so clear. Purpose of life to measure the existence of life. Then to define our life. In define our life. At times where somebody will tell us, hey, this man, I did this so and so. He was able to make this and that and that and that and that and that. The life that people are celebrating, what people are talking about, is all because of time measure that has been associated with it. I heard one of our senior politicians in the lawyer, Dr. Chachu, I think he was the youngest lawyer who finished the university, right? So with time, it's time that we are able to associate that man with that achievement. Because most people don't finish their law or whatever within that period at that younger or tender age. I won't say tender, at a younger age. But this man was able to do that. I can't remember whether 3 or 4 years ago, I learned, is it a 12 years or 14-year boy or so was really, is it mathematics in University or so. You see, It's time because everybody is doing mathematics then. And I did mathematics in university. But nobody is talking about it because he was there at the right what? Age. That is what we were expecting him to learn that thing. But somebody has gotten there below that age. So people think when we want to talk and celebrate certain things in life, that person needs to be celebrated because they have done what is not, should I say, not normal within the system. So time helps us to define these things. Then time helps us to measure, the purpose of time is to measure the quality of life. In fact, the quality of life is defined by time. They used to say life begins at 40. Now people are saying life begins somewhere 30. Right? So when you reach that point and you are able to accomplish certain things in life, maybe having certain things to your benefit or to your loss, when people see you in that area, they will tell, oh yes, this guy is enjoying quality of life. What normally we set our minds to, they are material things that we talk about, maybe house, good job, good family. Then we talk about cars and other things. If you are able to achieve those things within that early stage in life, everybody associates you with what? Good and quality life. Maybe you have your strength and everything is flashing correctly within you. You normally associate yourself with. It's time that we use to calculate all these things. And it's time again. Somebody may be 70, 80, but you see the person as energetic as we are. Then you say, this man has gone quality of life. Why? Because it's not a normal thing to see somebody at that age with that particular strength. So we talk about, maybe he takes good care of his body, he takes good care of his health and other things. All these things, if you be able to do it, it comes with some resources to do that. So this also helps us to define the quality of time. Then to define the distance between the beginning and the end. In fact, without time, we cannot calculate that. So at times you sit back and retrospect. When you do those reflections, say, hey, this is where I was, and this is where I am. In fact, it's because of time. Because of time that we are able to use and appreciate that. The most important thing for the purpose of time is what? Time will take us from living in permanent conditions. Some people say time changes everything in life. In fact, without time, it will be very difficult. Very, very difficult. Because as time, let me put it this way. When you are born again, it's because of time, the passage of time, that you are able to grow from that childhood to maybe adulthood. It's time. And it's time that has not made things permanent. If time makes things permanent, that means when you are born a child, you are a child forever. But because of time, which comes with events and other things, we are able to grow from that point to the other. And secondly, time has helped us because time is helping us not to live in a permanent condition. So today, if you are a poor person, it doesn't mean you will be poor forever. It's time. So with the passage of time, you realize that there was some time ago, getting one city to even do something was a problem. By now, you can lay your hands on something. It's time. A prayer and express living A baby, maybe brother and family, but a new baby, let me a time and a boy, and my intimate and a man. Measurement of time. Besides, how do we measure time? The clock gives us how time is measured. We measure seconds, we go to minutes, then we put hours. We can also measure days, weeks, months, and years, decades, centuries, and millennia. Yesterday, today, tomorrow, past, present, and future. All these things are talking about what? Passage of time. Seasons, we talk about rainy season, dry seasons, some will say summer, winter, spring. All is because of time. Because with the passage of time, certain things changes. So we have not been in dry season forever. It comes and goes. And we use those things also to measure what? Time. The moment we see maybe climatic changes, the weather is becoming too dry, it's becoming like this, then we can see that we are entering December or November, December, January, February, thereabouts. So all these things help us to measure time. Limitation of time to humans on earth. In fact, God has set limits for us. As human beings, God has set limits for us. And nobody can cross it. That limit is being calculated by time. When the time is due, there is no way you can escape. There's no way you can escape. There are certain aspects of our time and life we have no control over. When you read Job 14, verse 5 to 6, Job tells us some interesting things. And the way Job, the emphasis that he places is the same thing that we normally experience in our life. Job said, since his days are determined, if you say your days are determined, that it has been ascribed. The number of his months is with you. You have appointed his limit so that he cannot pass. Look away from him that he will rest. So, like a hired man, he finished his day. What Job was just trying to say that as we hire somebody into a job, come and do this thing for me. That job that the person is going to do has the time limit. So when the time is due, it will finish. The same thing God the Almighty has set time on us. So when the time is due, don't tell God that wait, I haven't completed what I'm supposed to do. So let me complete before I can know. When the time is up, the time is up. It's like writing exams. There is a time for it. So when the examiner says time is up, at times we have students and we know, let me put this thing down there. No, the time is up. So everything works according to time. And God has set that time for we human beings. And we should acknowledge that we have time so that we'll be able to do things at the right time. Not to wait at the 9 minutes. If not, there will be a challenge for us. When we read Psalms number 90, verse 10 to 12, the Bible specifies that the years of our life are 70, or even by season of strength, 80. Yet their span is by toil and trouble. They are soon gone and we fly away. We realize that God has given us 70, 80 to live on earth. Some cross all the values. Some even doesn't reach the values. But what we know, if we want to set a realistic thing for ourselves, we have to know that, or we should plan our lives in a such a way that God has given me 70. So what am I doing with the 70? I know for sure, if I'm not mistaken, everybody here is more than, or equal or more than 20. Is somebody below 20 here? Are you below 20? Okay. Let's assume $50. So if you subtract 50 from 70, you can know the remaining years you are supposed to spend. This is just an hypothesis. It doesn't mean it's a true statement. It's an assumption. So based on the scripture, 70 is the past man. When you go beyond 70, that one depends on the strength. If God wants to come, then you give it to you. So subtract your age now from the 70 and see how much it remains. In fact, as I told you at that time, if we are going back at the 70 mark, then we have 22 years to live. So if that is so, how do I plan my life? It's very important. Seriously. Every day that you celebrate your birthday, you need to realize that you are getting close to what your baby. That is what it is telling you. Right? That when you celebrate with happiness, but when the death is coming, you try to run away. You see? Yes, but that is what it should come into your mind. So if you think your preparation is not all that solid, you need to work at it. Seriously, you need to work at it. Then Ecclesiastes 8, verse number 8. Please, this quotation, everybody should write it down. Seriously. The Bible is saying that there is no man who has power over the spirit to retain the breath of life, neither has he power over the day of death. You know me, you hear me to me. A brother's one, I assume. You will to me, and I l'argent and la property in the farm. If you like life, you can buy them for properties or money. Hey, Master, and there are some people who will never die. And there are some people who do all dubious needs to get money. Right? But God is telling us in Ecclesiastes 8 verse 8 that we have no power over it. Then James chapter number 4 verse 13 is also telling us that in fact, you go here, there, everything. All these things, the power is in the hands of God. So always bear in mind that we are not in control of our lives or our time. In quotation, we are not in control, meaning whatever you do, whatever you plan, you need to bring God out in. Okay. Then we talk about maximizing our time. We hope to finish it. We need to maximize our time. Maximization means the optimal, doing your optimal best for the time that has been allocated to you, to your benefit. To what? Your benefit. What do many here to many years are emphasized and was so. But you really said before, or we Africans, and now most Africans, your time is here, getting diablo. Getting diablo. Getting diablo. and no air simplicity, we need to think about it. And God has reminded us of our number of days on earth. So when you want that you should know how overboard, you should know how you go about your life. So when we read, the psalmist used to say so many things, both of the psalmist and the prophet, that Mami Nkrumah meaning, if you know your days, you will know how to plan effectively and using what? Your time resource. So you plan in a way that all aspects of your Christian life will be embedded in whatever you do with your time. But if you fail to do that, then there will be a challenge. The topic is effective time management. The issue is that everybody here manages his time. Nobody is going to say that nobody knows how to manage his time. No. We know everybody knows how to manage his time. That is why we are here. You have allotted the time for this meeting and you have come. That means you are managing your time. But now we want to do it more efficiently or effectively. That means we are trying to reduce what? Waste. That is the ultimate aim of the topic. Trying to what? Reduce waste to its minimum level. Waste in terms of time. And we waste our time so much that, in fact, I don't know what to say about it. Because all of us have that challenge. And we need to develop a skill that we need to maximize our time very well. I expect that we should spend our time like currency. Our time should be spent like currency. We use money to buy everything or do certain things. But anybody who works hard and gets money, when that person is spending, he spends what? Wisely. Right? I'm not talking about the Sakawa people. He himself cannot eat food beyond 7 cities. But that person can buy air conditions, buy heavy cars and the rest. So these are things that we need to be very careful and be mindful of. So we should spend time like the currency. The currency that we are talking about as time has only 24 hours in every minute. I was doing the research, I think throughout the whole world, people who work hard, within these 24 hours, there are certain countries people work 16 good hours. In Asia, those living in Asia, seriously, they work very hard, 16 hours. That is the maximum that I have seen. Because they do it continuously. Although some of us, or some blacks, or some Africans, or some people do those hours, but it's not consistent. But yes, the research shows that most of them, 16 hours, now, and then 10. So 16 from 24. It remains what? 8 hours. Meaning they sleep only 8 hours. Or I won't say they sleep. They use 8 hours for other things. That is what I was talking about. But to us, I don't think we can use that 16 hours. The maximum I think we can go 6 to 6 is likely, right? Which is 12 hours. It's not bad. But let's try and use our time very efficiently like money. And we should spend our time. If you have time, spend it. Spending time means you need to use the time to do something meaningful. Use your time to do something meaningful. Time must be used to buy life. So if you want a good life, if you want a better life, the better life in your own definition, I will use that. In your own definition, use time to buy it. If you want to be on orthopedic mattress, nice one, use time to buy it. If you want to live in a good house, a well-furnished house, use time to buy it. If you want to be in good health, use time to buy it. Everything that you think is better for you that you want, use time to buy it. That is what I will tell you. You become what you do. You become whatever you spend your time buying. It's a currency. So whatever you want to become is what you will spend your time buying. That will help you to become what you want to become. What does the Bible say about efficient time management? The Bible says something about efficient time management. And you go to Ephesians chapter number 5, verse 14 to 16. That is where these things are. The time is fast spent. So redeem the time. I think we have been redeem the time, redeem the time. But the word redeem the time, the deem means to own. The deem means to own. And to redeem means to re-own or recontrol. Meaning previously you were not using your time well. But the Bible is telling you now that you should use your time well. You need to use your time well. When you read it, it will tell you that the days are evil. It's not talking about anything. If you don't use it today to get what you want, you will struggle in the future and you will not get it. Because that day should be bad. The strength that we use to do those things will be no more. And what is so important in this verse is that as you look carefully, then how to walk. Not as unwise, but wise. We give the time because the days are evil. This verse highlights the importance of using time wisely. Yes, and some more country in the same. In fact, young Sunday took the Brahma was the year we did not say. Monday time wisely. Ephesians chapter number 4, verse number 6, 5 to 6. Walk in wisdom towards outsiders, making the best use of your time. Simon 19. Yes, one hour in Yansan. They will move soon over a year. You need to use your time very wisely. Now, last week they can't never be because I didn't want to follow literally with this. Because never came assistantly in fact and why we said that time is a resource. In fact, time is a scarce resource. It cannot be created, cannot be stored, cannot be replaced. Let's understand that. Time cannot be replaced. Time lost is not forever. Time is transient. When it passes, that is it. So if assuming at age 15, you have about 1 million minutes to live, and maybe half of that 1 million is gone without any activity, you have lost it. The only thing you can do is the remaining minutes that is left that you can rely on. So we should be careful with time. Once time is spent, it is gone forever. This is very effective. This is why effective time management is essential to maximizing productivity, achieve goals, and maintaining healthy work-life balance. When we say time is a resource, it's a resource indeed. It's limited in supply. You have only 24 hours within a day. So if you don't use it, that is it. You cannot create extra hours or add it to 24 hours. It won't be possible. So we should be very careful. Non-renewable. When time is gone, you cannot recycle it. You cannot bring it back. Time is unretrievable. At the same time, it's unretrievable. When it's lost forever. And it's essential element for production. Every activity that we do in life, we need a resource. And it is mined or it has been attracted with time. Yet the brain has to be BIM. The new will be our custom, the same we are saying about the good schools are which is a good way to gas. And that's possible. When you go to school, you need work. If you go to school, that's what they need. Because what you learn from the school needs to be applied and for you to get money. Who goes to you lose money, you don't get money. But when you finish school and you are using your knowledge to work, you get the money back. So if you spend all your time in school, meaning you lose all your money in school without getting the returns. That is what it means. Time is a valuable item. It's an asset. And it determines the sources of the well-being of you. So when you are sitting there about one, never say you may we all have equal platform. The violation of the blessing is how the talent God has given to you. You use it. Try not to and then electric. If you decide to do 3 hours of the day, estimate that talent God has given you to get something. Somebody will also use 10 hours, maybe on the same job and the same returns. The one who has used the 10 hours will get it, and the one who has used 3 hours will get it. So it's very, very important that we know this. I don't know. I thought the slides should have helped so that we just.
It's on the WhatsApp group. You can open it on the WhatsApp group on your phones.
I think it's on the platform, so you can open it on the platform and the rest. So I beg you give me only 5 minutes for me to wrap up.
You can mention the page number so that they know where you are.
Okay, the page I think page 21. Let's go to 21.
That's treat time as a resource, help individuals.
Very good. Treat time as a resource, help individuals. If you treat time as a resource, please listen very carefully. It helps the individual to prioritize tasks, allocate time efficiently, and make most of the limited and precious asset by recognizing time as a resource. We can prioritize our tasks based on importance and urgency. Everything that you do in life, please prioritize them. I know you have so many things that you want to do, but rank them in order of importance and urgency. If you are able to do that, it will help you. Set realistic goals. Don't come with something so ridiculous that you cannot achieve. I quite remember in my childhood days, there was these magicians, they used to come into towns and cities. One man came and there was one Zogo man who were living with the son. Went to the magician gave the man a cloth and he asked the boy, whatever you want, say it will appear in the cloth. And the guy's father was a tractor driver. So what the guy told the magician is that I want tractor. It was so funny that the man said, you are a fool. Can a tractor enter into this room? You see, because they were using tricks, he thought a small boy would say, I want toffee. The toffee is already in the thing. But this guy told the man that I want tractor. What I mean is that we shouldn't set things way above our abilities. We shouldn't set things way above our abilities. Maybe assuming I want to build a 5-story building in 2 years. Looking at my current situation and my current income and other things, unless it's a miracle. So those things, you try to fight it, but at the end of the day, you will not achieve it. So set a realistic Avoid procrastination. This is what is eating into so many youths. Oh, I will do it today, I will do it tomorrow. You procrastinate. When you procrastinate, bear in mind that it's your time that you are eating. Learn to say no to non-essential tasks. There are certain things which are not important, but you always find yourself in. Especially going to watch every football match, which have lured you into betting. In fact, those things are not important. Betting can never help you to progress in life. I'm telling you, it's rather making you what? Lazy. It's rather making you what? Lazy. Avoid watching telenovelas. That thing there, shuffle will always say it. You consume about 2-3 hours watching telenovelas, fighting with your colleague. They are all fictions. They are not real.
Korean series.
Series. You'll be watching. I have told you last week. I told you to spend your time in these things, Master, is a waste. Make sure the internet that we are using, there are so many important skills that you can learn from them. Those skills can give you money. Our brother Dennis is doing what do you call it? Computer lessons. Those lessons will help you know how to analyze data. Master, learn them because they will help you in future. And stop about reading novels or don't send basabasana dia sewagre. It's not taking you anywhere. I'm telling you, what we have been preaching to you is what you have to listen and you put them into practice. Novels, most of them are fiction. You see, you watch telenovela and you'll be watching novels, reading novels, and like whenever maybe your husband comes in, you expect your husband to hug you, and those kind of hominy things. What's that? Forget it all. They are not rare. We don't have time for those things. When we are creating a serious family, you often he had in it, and no. Let's be serious. Seriously, let's be serious. Read things that will add value to your life. Value means that can give you returns. That can even facilitate your how to get to heaven. Not to read those things. They are waste of time. Please. Then you see you spend your data on those funny clips. Funny clips, then you'll be shooting yourself pictures and be flying them on TikTok. I saw anime, I saw putting those things on the internet, it's not advisable. So please, if we want to benefit from technology, let's use it in a way that we get. Oh yes, because and sometimes when we used to have those in this podcast, we used to pop up. And I've seen your pictures there. Oh, I've seen this one. That was the white background. You pictures. You see, I'm trying to say that let's use the technology, the value side, where we can get money or ideas to save our life. Let's use those forces and take away all the chaps. Somebody will go there looking at bombs. No, it won't happen. The internet very well. Quickly, I want to run, but let's jump to the 22nd one. I will just rush through the topics. When you go to read it, it's very important. For you to be able to manage your life effectively, one, please set clear goals. Life without a goal is lifeless. If you want to journey, and you don't know your destination, where you want to get to, you'll be roamed throughout and you come back with nothing. So when I think whether you were coming from your workplace or you were coming from the house, the moment you set off, you knew you were coming here. So any other thing will not interrupt you. Please set rare goals. Set rare goals for yourself. What you want to be in life, what you want to achieve in life, let it be clear. And that thing will help you. If you want to manage time well, because if you don't have a goal, you cannot manage time. Because you don't know where you are going, so you cannot allot time to it. But if you know you are going to Achiasi on foot, and you know the distance, you can say that I'm taking 5 hours to get to Achiasi. But if you don't know, you can't allot time to it. So please set rare goals so that you'll be able to get to where you want to get to. Rare goals doesn't come easily, meaning you need planning. You plan, then you put your goals down. When you get your goals, prioritize them. There are so many things maybe you want to achieve. Rank them. The one which are immediate and very important, push them forward. Allot time to it and start following those plans. Then at times, some of them in planning, you use a scheduling tool, which will be a calendar and other things for you to be alerted at any point in time what you are supposed to do, so that you will not throw your plans into check. But whoever is planned or whoever planned his life, I'm telling you, getting that person to do something for you becomes difficult. Why? Because he has planned his life. So whenever you want to come in, he has to readjust and see if he is able to have time for you. But those who don't have time, or who have not allotted time for anything, or friend anytime, yeah, whatever, okay, when it happens so, that means you have a challenge. We shouldn't live our life in a vacuum. Anything plan, you should plan it so that you'll be able to maximize the time God has given you. When the time is gone, it's gone forever. It will not come back. Then, when you plan, make sure you break your tasks into smaller units. You break your tasks into smaller units. That is where we call it step by step. Step by step. When you want to build a house, let me tell you, the engineers, those who have to come in the house, there are so many. But we don't start all of them at a go. You don't start all of them at a go. You have your plan all right. You cannot build a house without a plan. So we have already talked about the plan and how to prioritize them. We realize that our life should be planned. We should set clear goals. We want to build 3-bedroom house. You have to design everything. This is what I want to do. The 3-bedroom now, it has roofing, it has foundation and everything. You cannot start from the roofing without building the foundation or whatever. So step by step, you break the activity into smaller units. You do your foundation, you give yourself the time. You build on the foundation, you get to your lintel. All the stages will come. There will be a time you have to bring the electrician in, you need to bring the carpenter in, you need to bring this in and that and that. All those things should be rearranged and it should be arranged very well. Avoid multitask. Avoid multitask. Most buildings collapse. In Ghana, giant buildings, it has collapsed. Why? It's because of multitask. When they finish the floor was supposed to stay for some time for it to be hardened. So it has been given 3 months or 2 months. You see them building on top without waiting for the 3 months for the thing to be solid. So by the time you realize, with the hope that the supporting beams or the supporting pillars and the woods and everything will support that one to sustain the top. By the time they realize the building is down. So don't do multitask at the same time. It's like a woman cooking and at the same time doing a video call. What do you think it will happen? Definitely one will have a problem. So please do one task at a time. Then our next slide, learn to say no. Learn to say no. You see, at times, somebody may need your help, may need you to do something. That thing may not be all that important. So you need to be bold. Although we are Christians, or if somebody tells, oh, Charlie, come and we want to go to, we want to visit Victor and just do some chatting. Like any visit which does not have a meaning. Don't waste your time on that. If Victor is sick or Victor has a problem and you want to visit and help, period. But don't go and just go and chat for chatting sake. Are you getting me? So you need to learn those things so that you'll be able to manage your time effectively. Then eliminate distractions. At times you'll be doing something. Then there is another thing that is maybe interfering with the activity that you are doing. Definitely your concentration will be degraded. So whenever you are doing anything, make sure there won't be any other influences that will interrupt or that will destroy your focus. So if you think, maybe I want to get this degree before I marry. Listen very carefully. Don't tell me that, oh, okay, I want to get the degree, I will get the degree. Okay, then let me marry, and alongside I will get the degree. I'm telling you, the marriage will disrupt you after the time. So the best thing is to finish and get into your mind. Unless maybe you are at the point of finishing, that you think is done, then you go in. Because some of these things may interrupt the other, which may make the other one function, or one of them will function back. One of them will definitely go back. So if you think there are certain things, the activity or the goal that you have set for yourself, the time that you have set for yourself, something can interrupt it, which you have control over it. Make sure you avoid that. Then do inventory on your associations. I think the rest can be read later on, the time is fast spent. The inventory aspect is very important. We are all Christians, we all accept that. But I'm telling you, there are certain people, if you think they are not taking anywhere, they are not helping you to worship the Lord well. Listen very carefully. They are not helping you to worship well. They are not even helping you to focus on your life or to get to your dream. My brother, avoid those people. Avoid those relations. Avoid those associations. Because the Bible has already warned us in 1 Corinthians 15 verse 33 that evil association corrupts good habits. Anybody who does not toe the line, we have two things. We want to get to heaven. We want to better our lives. We have focus, both heaven and our lives. It's the heaven that is helping us to drive our life. And it is our life at the same time that is facilitating our progress or our life to heaven. So these two, anybody who want to interfere, who want to waste your time and energy on that, please try to avoid it. This is a difficult thing that we can't do. But if you are able to do that, it will help you. It will help you a lot. Take a break. Eliminate distraction. Take a break. When you work hard, you take a break, you relax, you refresh your mind, then you continue. Then you take another break, you review whatever plan that you have done, the time that you have set for yourself. You review whether it's going well or it's not going. Do you need some adjustment upwards or downwards? Let me tell you, in budgeting, if you budget for the year, we call something mid-year. The mid-year is just about updating your budgeting. You take assessment of the past, the half year, and realize whether your targets are being achieved, whether you have overachieved your targets at that point, or is maybe your target has been so underestimated, or it's likely that even if you are given 10 years, you won't be able to achieve that. We adjust there, then you come out with a new plans, then you follow it to the year. The same thing should happen in your life. Life shouldn't be a dogmatic thing. It shouldn't be a blueprint that, oh, because I've said this to myself, whether I'm not going to achieve it or not, I will follow. No. When you readjust, it helps you to modify your goal and it helps you to get to your destination. So you will never be straight on those things. If you are always straight, it will be a challenge. Avoid procrastination. I've already said it in your life. Use technology wisely. I have said it. Then delegate tasks. At times, when you reach certain level, there are certain activity. You do your cost and benefit analysis. Okay, I'm in the house. I'm doing this thing to give me 1,000 cities in 1 hour. At the same time, I have to wash my car, which will cost me maybe 20 cities. Then why can't I give my car for somebody to wash 20 cities? So that when I get the 1,000, I will use 20 cities. But if I want to do the same thing, that means I will propose certain aspect of the 1,000, which that will be a big thing for me. So at times you have to dedicate time to some people to help you. Do not try to please everybody in your time and in life. Never attempt that. You cannot satisfy everybody at the same time. So when you are planning, let that thing be in your head. Don't satisfy anybody at the same time. You cannot do that. Let it be clear to you. Then the last point is forget the past and pursue the desired future. Whichever thing that you have designed from today that you want to become. You have had a lot of challenges in the previous years, or the years back, or yesterday. Please, don't let those things weigh you down. Focus on the design and pursue the future in the Lord will help you. Thank you very much, and I hope that applying these principles, I think the slides are self-explanatory. If you read and you apply, it is going to help us to achieve our goal and get to heaven, and at the same time enjoy life as we want it to be. Thank you very much.
Yes,